Here's a question I'm going to ask you, right? Straight question, straight on. Here's there. You can see on the board. Here's a question I'll ask all of you. What is fear? Get married. Yeah, it is. Supporting Southampton. Honest to God, I thought, what is fear? And I went on Google, and Google says fear is a feeling induced by perceived danger or threat that occurs in certain types of organisms which causes a change in metabolic, organic functions. I give up. Seriously, I'll tell you what fear is. I'll tell you what fear is. I describe it in 5 words. Fuck, what the hell do I do? That's fear. When it faces you like that, right? You think, what do I do? And last August, I faced something I'd probably feared for a long time. I grew up in a society in Kenya where, people were really structured. It was a very small community. And status mattered massively. I've seen this with my family, with my dad. If you're not at a certain level, you're a failure. It really mattered because if you weren't getting, certain grades in exams, you were a failure. And it was really scary because in my O-levels, I worked like crazy. I think I slept 2 hours a night then. I got 8 A's and 2 B's. When I got the result, I shit myself. I said, my dad's going to bollock me because I got 2 B's. That's the kind of fear I lived in. I don't fear a lot of things. I don't fear embarrassment. I always tell my wife, my life dream is to dive with the great white sharks without a cage. I've been in national parks where wild lions have been 10 feet away from me, and I'm like, oh, brilliant, take some photographs of these. And people in the car going, fuck, what do we do, right? That's the kind of thing that happens. And last year, I faced, in August 2018, my biggest fear. This fear had been instilled in me since I was a kid, and that's the fear of failure. What if I failed? What if I, pardon my French, but what if I fucked up? I'd been growing tubules for all these years. I'd invested my time. I'd invested my money. I'd invested and made sacrifices in this. And I thought, what do I do? My sister passed away in 2014. She was a big rock in my life. Massive, because she was in a wheelchair. She couldn't walk. She had been discriminated all her life, but she had managed to become a lawyer, a psychologist, a motivational speaker, and we kind of drove each other on. And in 2006, when she finished her first degree, I went down, I flew home on Friday night, landed there Saturday, celebrated her graduation, got on the flight Saturday night, Sunday I was back here. When she did a second degree in 2010 graduation, she said, Drew, can you come? And I said, I can't. I've started tubules, I haven't got a penny with me, I haven't got time, I can't do this. And it weighs heavily sometimes. 2014, the 10th of May, she passed away. I had 5 days with the family and I flew back. I think 15th or 16th May, I was back in work. It was this sort of sacrifice I was working with. Through all these years, sometimes sleeping those 2 hours a night when you've had long days isn't easy. 10th of May, 2018, last year, I was in the evening, I'd said I'm going to go up and lecture in Northallerton, which is somewhere northeast area. And I had a morning with the investors. Every time I have that meeting, I shit my bricks. And then we had a team meeting, and that whole night I ended up feeling sick as hell. I still got on the train going to Northallerton. It was a nightmare journey. I was supposed to hire a car halfway across. The hire company had put the wrong date in. All this going on. I was feeling crap, and it was the day my sister had passed away. It was pure emotional trauma. On the train, I cried as well. But I still got there, and I delivered this ECPD lecture and took the train back, and somehow feet hurting, back killing me, 3 o'clock at night, I managed to get home. 7 in the morning, I was back on into clinic. That's the kind of, sweat and tears I'd put into this. I've always been on holiday, and my holiday wife says we need Wi-Fi, otherwise we're not going. And I love being in the wild with wildlife. But every single holiday, something or the other happens and you're working or you're doing stuff. I remember being in Savo, chilling, watching these 3 cheetahs, phone rings. What's up? Drew, you know this roadshow study club we've had, the wires are in a mess. And we had a study club director who just wanted to do that, and I spoke, and I was on holiday and doing this. Everyone's enjoying the piece. I'm like, yeah, how do we solve this stress out? Because the kids have gone missing. I spent an hour and a half on the phone sorting this. That's the kind of sacrifices I made. And sometimes I don't realize it because of what I'm doing, with the passion, with the energy of what I'm doing, how much goes into this. But I'd done this for 9 years, and I'd put this flag on, right? I'm a tubulite. Stop me if you can kind of theory. And my biggest fear stared me in the face last August. With all these PDP changes, God knows, with the Congress, everything, we had driven everything to the limit. Our team had worked to the limit. And the bank account got decimated to a level where Tubules had 5 days to live. 9 years of this shit I'd put in. 9 years when I could have worked as a dentist and, just led a comfortable life. Instead, I acted like a nutter, working 10 days a week, 42 days a month, that sort of thing. And Tubules was going to collapse. And we went to the investors begging, can you please help us? And they said, I don't believe in you or your team. We were looking at this and sort of working out what the hell do we do. And I was flying home just after that. And, we asked everybody, it wouldn't work. The words coming to me were, don't worry, we can call the administrators in. I was like, no, you can't. You were sitting at a point thinking, how do I fight? How do I survive for what I live in? And when that stares you in the face, having lived through life where that fear of failure never works, you put your heart and soul in. You think, what the hell do? I had an 8-hour stop in Dubai. And in those 8 hours, I was going home to pick my wife and kid, who I hadn't seen for 3 months. I was a complete wreck. That terminal in Dubai, if everyone has seen, is one hell of a long walk. If you want to walk from one end to the other and back and one end to the other back about enough times and lose weight, this is how you do it. Face your fear and go to Dubai airport. Honest to God, I had no clue what do we do. I was there calling people up, and Simon was one of the first people I said, I am fucked here. What do? I'm scared shit. What I've stood for all the time, what I've tried to do for people. It wasn't even for me, it was for others that would fail. It's like the hope we had put in Tubulites about all these things we're going to achieve. It was the dream of my dad. My dad was a serial entrepreneur. He's done more businesses than I can imagine. At the age of 68, he still sends me a message saying, I will do it. And I was like, the hope of my dad rests on my shoulder. Our team who worked so hard for me are resting on my shoulder. And I was thinking, shit. My sister's voice, Drew, keep going. I believe in you, was echoing in my head. This red demon standing there going, what the hell are you going to do? Scary. Absolute scary. I walked that terminal. I wish I had a pedometer. Probably in a few thousand steps up and down, thinking, what do? I called people up saying, can you help me out? Nobody would respond. I got home and I ended up back in Savo. I sometimes visit this place. There's a lovely river, a great rocky roads, and my brother-in-law took this photograph. And I always remember it because this is it. Rocky rocks, and choppy waters were sending there. In the most serene of places, in the quietest of places, my head was going through a typhoon. There is no way I can let this project die. What do we do? Words were coming back. Drew, I think we have to cancel the Congress. No way. No way was it going to happen. And as I spent those few days with the family, they could see it. Family asking me, what the hell is wrong? Why are you not eating? Others asking me, what's going on? I was like, no, nothing at all. I'm just tired. But deep inside, turbulent waters, the heart. And by the way, while you're facing this fire and all this, you're still getting those calls. Drew, I can't find my login. Drew, has those videos been done? Has that been updated? What date is this filming, by the way? This practice can't get this person to sign up. Can you help out? You're still getting these calls from people saying, by the way, what date was that study club? Oh, I can't make this. Can you help me out? Have you booked my hotel room for the Congress? Oh, have you changed the... And As I am, will pick the phone up and talk to people. As I am, I will respond to WhatsApp messages. As I am, I will respond to your Facebook messages. Somebody once, when I didn't respond in 12 hours, asked me, have you ended up in hospital? I haven't got a reply yet. And I will do this as quick as possible. So all this shit's going on, and I'm still looking after people because I believe that's what I love doing. At the other end, I had the family, and they keep asking questions, and they keep doing things, and you're going out for dinner with them, you're trying your best, and it's hard work. It was pure choppy waters. We flew back, and I didn't know what the hell was going to happen. And David, you remember when we met, and he said, should we refund the money, call it a day? No way. We've got to find a way. But that fear faces you. How many times do we all face our fear of failure? A fear that we might fail in looking after the patients, and they'll report us to a GDC. Our fear of failure that perhaps the business I'm running might collapse. That fear that I'm doing the best for my family, if I don't achieve something? Your heart goes boop, 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 boop. Your mind goes boop, boop, all the time, and it doesn't stop. And while all this was going on and trying to find solutions, I also ended up writing the Intelligent PDP book. I was going through the night going, I don't know how it's going to work, but I'm going to keep doing something. I'm going to keep doing something, and you keep doing something. What that something is, you don't know you're doing it. And even when I remember putting this out to the investors saying, what is this PDP rubbish? It's just a form. Get on with proper stuff. Wow, what do I do? There's fire. There's pure fire in there. I don't know how to get out of these flames. How many times have you faced that? How many times have you seen that red demon right there in front of you on your top left going, I'm going to screw you up? That's how it felt. We didn't know what to do. We were looking hard. And there was one evening, normally what happens is the family goes to sleep at night, and about some silly hour at night, normally 11 o'clock, the first thing I do is make a cup of coffee. 11 o'clock at night, caffeine does a wonderful job for me. That's why I sleep 2 hours a night maybe. But I sat there, and that's when I sit quietly and I just reflect, or I just think, or I just let the mind do what it needs to do. Just sip my coffee, staring at the table, just thinking hard. And something really hit me at that point. Some sort of thing that, Drew, it's gone. It's gone. You put 9 years in, it's not going to survive. Leave it. By this time, by the way, we had gone through 2 weeks, and somehow we were still there when we were meant to be 5 days of survival. Something had been working, we don't know. And as I sat there, it just went, it's gone. Let it go for as many weeks as it goes, because do you know what? No matter what happens, the most important thing for me is that my family, the ones I still love, are still around. And whether I fail in my business or whether Tubules project fails, they will still see me as their superhero. That was really empowering. I was grateful. I was grateful that they were still there. He turned 1 in January, and that's his birthday. And more importantly, I'm getting him ready for Tubules support as well. He's very good at answering 2 phones at one go, telling somebody you can't have your refund and stop disturbing me, I have work to do. You can see he's got a brilliant computer. But this is what made me feel thankful. Thankful that whether I fail or pass, they're still there. My time with them is still there. And this is important at every level. Not only that, but thankful that behind me is a great team, these lot here, who put their heart and soul into it. Who put their heart and soul into it. Because they believe in a vision, believe in this greatness. Kala, thank you. Thank you for keeping me sane. Timia, thank you for listening to my rants. Jem, when I pick the phone up and go around for 2 hours, he's obviously got a life to lead. But thank you. David, thank you for all the support. This is what's there. But more importantly, I suddenly thought, you know what? We've got a big family. I don't know where that picture's gone, but we've got a big family somewhere. Maybe I can't find it. But all of the Tubulites. I've got friends around. I have this special group of friends called the Pindu group. And we talk to them all the time. We share things. It's these things, all of you. I was like, no matter what I've done, this is still there. And as I thought about the whole process, saying not only that, but you know what? Over the last 9 years, Drew, whether you pass or fail, you've worked with honesty, you've worked with dignity, and you've done it with a true heart. What is the failure in that? I've never tried to cheat anyone. I've never tried to do anything where it hurts somebody. And if I have invariably, I apologize. But I've done everything with a true heart and a true purpose to help every single person who comes along. It's not about me. It's about the other person, and how can I make things better for them is what I've done. So what have I got to feel bad about if this falls? And through this process, coffee is going down. See why coffee is good? I sat there and I thought, do you know what? Even if tubules did go, my values, what I believe in, my principles, all this isn't going to go, is it? I can start all over again because I believe in this. And you know when you get your two chimps either side, one of them going, seriously? Would you do this all over again? Yes, of course I will. What? After all this, you've not had sleep, you've put your life into it, you put your life savings into it, your house is on the line? Yeah, I'd still do it again. Bad chimp going, are you mad? No. Why the hell would you do this all over again? Why? And I said, you know what? It's because I love it that so many people continue to get inspired by what we do. So many people get that passion back in what we do. Every day, every single day, we're helping people at some level or the other with the vehicle we've created. So why would I not do it again? It's not about education to the world. It's more than that. It's about education to the world to help, to inspire, and to connect these people to do the job they need to do. At that point, I kind of sat there, and while I was in a serene area, the brain was going through turbulent waters. While I was in a turbulent area in my kitchen drinking this coffee, the brain was like, it's nothing to actually be scared about. The brain was thinking, you've got everything that's important around you. More importantly, there's just a complete serenity. I remember that moment. It's like, it doesn't matter. Life's great. Oh, by the way, I'll get all my time back to do what I wanted to do with my photography and my running and all that stuff. It doesn't matter. It just felt different. Gratefulness, being grateful for what you do, having a true heart in your beliefs and having faith in what you believe in completely obliterates all fear. That red dragon, that demon sitting here was withering. Didn't know what to do. And as I approached that evening and asking these questions, I said, you know what? Let's just try it. Let's see how it works out. It's the only way it works, really. And I started thinking deep about why would you do this? Oh yeah, because I like putting passion into people. And Sumer, thank you very much, because that's about the time we drove back after Birmingham. And at that point, Sumer had put some seeds in my brain, the seeds about how adults learn and how the brain works and some of these exciting things. And I just got this answer that I'm putting passion in people. I'm putting this energy into people. So we went into overdrive thinking, yeah, how do we do this? You know, adults want to learn urgently, adults want to learn properly, but we're doing all this. And by this time, by the way, for some reason, people had started believing the stuff I was doing on tubules. People had started, listening to the stuff I was talking about, the PDP. And our subscriptions were going like this. And the Congress was approaching, and those 5 days were suddenly becoming 15, 20, 25, 30 days from survival. There was an internal faith in me that, yeah, actually, I believe in the right things. It is possible. It is likely that this is going to work. There was a whole different mindset going on. And do you know why this had to work? This had to work not because of me and my fear of failure. It was because the hopes of others lasted on this. It's a huge responsibility you carry as a leader, as a person who's leading this. That responsibility of Tubulites who believe in you, who believe that you're achieving something for them. That responsibility of a father who still has hope that one day you might achieve something. That responsibility of a team who know that vision and they walk with you through that area. And I thought whether I walk alone through this or I walk with anyone, I will continue walking. And when I cannot walk and I'm down on my knees, I'll continue crawling forward. And when I cannot crawl and I'm on my belly, I will continue moving forward somehow, somewhere, some way. There was a power inside me that somehow wasn't stopping, and I wrote that book, and somehow I published it, and somehow that book went live, and we had all these PDP videos we were firing. I think it was a Sunday evening we filmed it in my garage. And it just seemed things were shooting up. They were shooting up, and there was a bigger belief, and somehow the answers were approaching somewhere. I realized we're taking people who are disinterested and frustrated and moving them all to the passion stage. There's a whole group of people, if they're passionate people love what they do, not for the money, but they do it because they love what they do, and that triggers something in the brain which makes them more creative. The world needs more passionate people to solve the problems that are facing there. That's the kind of responsibility and energy with which we were driving Tubules. Thank you. Thank you. And it was really, really interesting because I started reading people's PhD thesis on passion and what it's about, psychology. I started reading papers on curiosity, the different types of curiosity. I started reading all these points and how the hell does someone from frustration move across to that right side? Remember, we always ask, how come some people get tubules and some people don't? It's because you are all on the right side of dentistry. You're all on the right side of this graph. You're at the top of that passion pathway somewhere. You may not realize it. And I'm not going to give you the talk on passion because that'll be another 5 hours probably. But it's really interesting that you're all there. And ultimately, I found this study. It's the Gallup Study. The Gallup Study shows that only 13% of workers around the world, people who work, are engaged and passionate about what they do. 87% of people are disengaged from their work at some level. What does that cause? Not just a negativity to work. It has impact on families. It has impact on their daily life. It has impact on so many social things. And we know one story of our tubulites who have always said how he found passion through tubules. His wife found a passion which was not dentistry. They have a happy life. They even moved city to work. And they've got a kid they couldn't spend time with who now gets more time from them. Education isn't just giving you knowledge, gives you all that power. It ignites, it helps people, it ignites their passion, and it just drives something. And this is the vision I started developing. This is the view I started getting, that this is what I've been doing all this time. 10 years ago, I had got bored of dentistry. I'd lost my inspiration. You guys all helped me. Thank you. I loved it. 10 years on, I nearly lost tubules, and finding my passion again got me back into what I was doing. In October, we had one of the most amazing congresses around. We had a really inspiring, energetic event. You'll all agree with that. Importantly, we had the foundation moving forward. And I started thinking more about this factor of what is going on. Why were we going to get more people into this area of passion? Passionate people spend a lot of time learning. They really engage in things. They start hanging with people around them who are much more energetic and passionate. But the frustrated people, all they want to do first is get an answer. They're frustrated. How the hell do I get this to work? That's all I wanted. I want to go home. That's all they want to do. And I thought, do you know what? I looked at stories of tubulites and realized a lot of them had got engaged initially because of the forums. Asking, how do I solve this? And people helping them with answers, the help and support they got. And that's before the forums got infiltrated with people with agendas, which is why we killed it off. They all moved on to Facebook. But you see, Facebook, that's people asking questions all the time. You look at the WhatsApp groups, that's what people are doing, asking questions all the time. And my passion thought, right, I know the psychology behind the thinking of passion and curiosity. What's missing is exactly that. And we started the 1001 questions, which is translated. In January, I asked about these. We've got 200 questions in less than 2 months. There must be shed loads of questions floating around dentistry. And I thought, let's launch a project called 10,001 Questions. The 10,001 questions in dentistry. And what we decided to do is create this thing called 10,001 Questions. And that's the second big announcement I was going to make. The launch of the 10,001 concept and the 10,001 questions. It's literally going to be tubulites who submit their questions in. Here's my question. What's the answer? And we will be able to say, here's the CPD videos that will give you the answer. Number 2, Here's the events and courses, the study clubs, etc. They'll give you this answer. Number 3, here are the products from the companies that will give you the answer to help you. Number 4, here's all the list of research papers that you want to answer this question. And number 5, by the way, here's all the tubulites giving you tips where all the tubulites can put them on. And that's the project we've built. 10,001 questions, you'll see the tubules logo in between. It has been designed as a concept. And you'll see that the question is there and the different answers. And you can say, I just want the online CPD videos. I just want to find the courses I can go on. Hold on, I just want the research papers. Ultimately, immediate answers, immediate resource, relevant learning. And if we can get people engaged into this process again and again and again and again and again, guess what? They're going to get into the tubule system, and slowly but surely, we will get the passion in them. We will infect them with tubulitis one way or another. Ultimately, we will approach this, and we will be able to find the latest questions. You can find questions related to your roles. You can find questions related to your topics. And I'm happy to share the video link, the link of the prototype. And the best news is this is going to be developed as an app. So finally, a lot of people keep asking me about their app because they carry this little black mirror all the time. It's going to be available. But the thing is, my fear, my biggest fear when it stood in front of me, made me dig deep. It made me think, how the hell do I get out of this? That's when I started developing some mindsets. And the other day, Jem was looking on the internet to say, where else is this sort of concept? Nowhere on the internet. Apparently, we've found something that's just not available online at all. It might be. If somebody can find it, please tell me. But actually, no one around. Because of Google, where you type your questions in, nobody's done this. And the best part about it is the answers are going to be quality controlled, because we would go through a quality process for the online CPD videos, for the courses. For the first time, when you type something on Google, it's not the person who's paid the most money that will just come up. It's the relevant stuff that comes up. Quality control, you know it very well. But from where I was, down below the waters, ready to close tubules down 9 years ago, I'm standing here, and as David said, 10 years of tubules. From the point when my fear of failure was in my head, 5 days from closing, I can't believe, but the closing of our financial year in March 31st, which was last week, tubules achieved the best financial results it's ever achieved in 10 years, which is brilliant. All the credit, all the energy, everything goes to you lot. Thank you very much, because you've put in the hard work. I just go, let's try this and let's try that. And that's brilliant. But can you imagine what can happen if you face your greatest fear? Just stand up and say, what if it happened to you? What will you do? And the first words that'll come out of you is, fuck, what do I do? That's my definition. Google needs to change it. But the first thing I did is just look around and say, what am I grateful for? And if I did lose everything, would I lose that? If you don't lose that, you've got nothing to worry about. Because that's the most important aspect. And if you then start going from there, you'll realize how many great things have happened. I remember when I sat there, I was thinking, tubules is gone, but it's been a great journey. It's brilliant, because I was sitting there thinking, remember that time when we were about to go live on Tubules Live? As we pressed live, the bloody memory chip blew up. I remember that time we filmed that video. We went to Belgium or somewhere. We spent £10,000 filming it, came back and couldn't find the presentation. And that video had been flushed down. Or do you remember that time 4 years ago, Drew, when you signed that random software, which actually didn't do what it promised, and you didn't read the contract and had to pay them $20,000 or something like that? So let's watch. I have failed. I have made mistakes again and again and again and again. Standing here, I've probably spoken to the wrong people the wrong way. I've probably made wrong decisions. But that is why I can now make the right decision. Because I've learned from all that. I've learned my mistakes. I've learned all that. And I found something really interesting. I found this quote that somehow was online the other day. It said, I can never remember it. That's the main thing. Failure should be our teacher, not our undertaker. Failure is delay, not defeat. It is a temporary detour, not a dead end. And when I thought I was a dead end, it brought back some serious passion. The passion that now gives me a completely different, invigorated vision of tubules for the next 10 years. Because you know what? There's 87% of the world that needs igniting with tubulitis. That's a big job. And in addition to that, we've got the Tubules Foundation, the young kids around the world who from day one need to be having this passion and energy in them so that when they grow up, they actually love what they keep doing. Tubules has a new vision. Facing my fear, my energy, my everything, I have found something that's reinvigorated me. It's what I want to do. And do you know what? As I see that face where people said, I don't believe in you, as I see that face where people said, close it down, everything, I'll tell you one thing. This lion has been sleeping. He's just woken up from his slumber. I'm ready to rule this jungle, to move the forward way we need to go. Because tubules will get there. That's the passion I move with. I have 2 questions for you. 2 questions. Number 1, sit down and think. What is your fear? Is it really a fear? And number 2, every day, every single day, how are you going to wake up to help somebody or inspire somebody to move in the right direction because you want to help them get that passion in life? Welcome to the next year, 10 years of Tubules. Thank you.